Hello and welcome to another episode of unComplex. Together with my host Lionel Pastor, I'm Adriaan van Berg, and we're going to talk about the future of shopping, starting with topics like AI-driven personalization, and also talking about the very importance of trust in commerce. And for this, we are very fortunate to have with us Witold Ferenc, the legend who created Frisco, a brand that I'm sure we're all very familiar with and very grateful to have available in Poland.
Thank you very much. Not a legend yet, definitely.
Come on. If I recall back in the days of COVID, how much we relied on Frisco, it's a legend.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Witold, please tell us a bit more about yourself. What made you able to create this incredible product? What led to this moment?
Well, actually, I think that with this kind of products, there is a lot of paradox. And really, my life started as a political consultant. And the reason I decided to create Frisco is because I had no idea how difficult it is. If only I realized, what it takes to build a grocery service, I would probably never start it. But it seemed so easy. Well, you just get some products, pack them, and deliver it to customers. What can go wrong? Well, at scale, actually quite a lot of things can go wrong, but really the beginning was this. So at one summer lazy afternoon, I had to go shopping, and I was reading at that time a book by Lionel, I think it was, a famous branding expert, and he was describing the UK's Ocado experience. Ocado is the largest grocery service in the world right now, and I was really fascinated how easy it can be and what quality it can deliver. I tried to find an equivalent of Ocado in Warsaw, and what I found was really disheartening because the quality was really poor. So I thought, well, I had an idea for my life, but I thought that building a grocery service would be more interesting and more challenging. 2 years later, we started in Warsaw, and 20 years later, now Frisco is the market leader with over 60% market share. So I'm happy that it worked, but obviously along the way, we learned a lot and there were a lot of challenges.
So Frisco is a pure play store versus the typical models that we see in the market. Why did you decide to go pure play?
Well, I had the conviction that if you control the stack vertically, so you control the technology, you control fulfillment, sourcing, and the delivery, then you can really deliver great quality. And also you have the flexibility to make changes along the way. And when you build a startup, the flexibility to change things is really the magic ingredient. And obviously at that time, it wasn't clear whether the pure play grocery model will be the winning model, or rather the hybrid which was championed by the big players like Carrefour, Tesco, Ocado. Ocado is a pure player, the Auchan. And so we bet heavily on going with a pure play model, which turned out to be successful because obviously when you control everything, you are able to deliver better quality. So that was our strong conviction that quality will win. It's kind of trivial to say that, but ensuring quality in a grocery service is really critical because what's a grocery really about? It is about trust. When I want to buy a bag of groceries, I must be sure that I will get everything that I order. Because if you're planning a party and this is going to be a turkey roasting, and the store will deliver you everything that you buy except the turkey, well, that's not what you expect. And really to be able to make sure that with millions of products and thousands of orders per day, that you deliver exactly every item in good quality and as ordered, that requires full control of the whole process. And that's why pure players are winning across the world.
Witold, so you went solo into this. Did you consider partnering up with some of the existing retailers first? I mean, notoriously, of course, these e-commerce retailers have incredibly small margins. I can imagine that this is quite a risky move to go solo.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, initially, I had no idea how difficult it is, how difficult it's going to be, because I didn't realize that the purchasing power is everything in grocery retail. So over several years, I was struggling to partner with German Real or French Carrefour in Poland, but it went nowhere. Obviously, I was frustrated at not being able to close a deal, but only afterwards I realized that it was a blessing because it just left us freedom. All the big players, once they have partnerships, they want to shape your business according to their strategy, to their vision of e-commerce. And that would obviously ruin the model. Right now, even 5 years later, it was clear that the path of independence was really the best one because most of our competitors died. They went out of the market, and Frisco stayed and flourished. So although it made our life much more difficult, we had funding issues, we had purchasing power issues, and scaling issues. So that was actually worth it because we've built a business that was able to grow and become profitable and eventually succeed with customers.
I'm curious, these scaling issues, can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, it's kind of difficult to imagine for an end customer because if you order like 20 products in your grocery bag, you think, well, that's not so difficult actually to grab them from shelves into the bag, then put them into a van and deliver. Simple. But then Frisco, for example, today on some days have 10,000 orders. 10,000 orders multiplied by, let's say, 50 individual items. So that is 500,000 items which must be taken from shelves and put into the bags. And the rule is that you cannot make a mistake. So really there must be a process that will prevent people or machines from making a mistake, not to break things in the meantime. So if you order eggs, you don't want your eggs, like smashed or anything like this. So scaling that requires really a lot of complexity. And obviously, when you are a startup, you cannot invest in high-tech solutions, which would just ruin you financially. So you must scale step by step. So what we did, and I am really grateful to one of the big German companies, who provide high-end automation. They, when we wanted to buy our first automated solution, they took us for a trip in Germany and explained to us, don't go high-tech, don't overspend when you're small. Just automate the key processes so that things work for customers, but then make another jump in 2 or 3 years when you better understand the processes. So that was really unique for a technology company or logistics company like Interroll to tell us, don't spend too much money with us because that may kill you because you really don't know what you want. Just buy what you need, learn, buy something more and learn. So that was really a great experience. And that probably enabled us to grow and to keep the quality without going out of the market.
That's very smart. So they really wanted to nurture you and make sure that you will be the lasting client that succeeds and in time get more business from you.
Yeah, and that was really a great experience also on a personal level because when we went there and we were like 25-year-old rookies, and we were invited by the CEO and the head of sorter solutions because we were buying a sorter from them, and they spent the whole day basically teaching us, because these were not discussions or negotiations, they were teaching us. That was incredible for me that they invested so much time into a very uncertain business because we weren't sure that we even had the money to buy what we wanted to buy. And that showed me that if you want to build a lasting business, you must build relationships and partnerships. And it's not really about money, it's about exchange of ideas, exchange of expertise. And, they won on this bet, but it really was a huge, business lesson for me into how you should structure your partnerships with people and with companies around you.
So I'm very curious to know more about the automation that you have eventually implemented, but that's not the main topic of this conversation. To run off the story around Frisco, tell me a little bit about your exit. What did this look like? When was this?
So I exited the company about 10 years after I founded it. I had some management fatigue, you might say, because when you run a grocery service, really on a daily basis, you're not thinking about vision of technology, vision of growth. It's the daily operations that are taking up most of your attention. So after years, there is a wear-out effect. So I was at that point, I felt a little bit tired and frustrated, perhaps. And because we have onboarded a new investor, a major Polish DC fund, MCI, I thought that this is the time actually for me to switch roles. So I switched from being a CEO and moved to the supervisory board to help the company, but without operational responsibilities. So that was the beginning of the transition. And then I exited the company altogether and took some rest, recharged my batteries and started something new.
So if I may ask, when did you exit then? Is it before or after COVID?
Well, that was before COVID. Obviously, COVID was a super exciting time for Frisco and for all other grocery services. And that was really the experience of how to scale rapidly. And unfortunately, in grocery and logistical companies, there is nothing like rapid scaling. Rapid scaling works for digital services, but not for logistical services. Yeah, but that was the time when the valuations of grocery services skyrocketed. So the new owners of Frisco were super happy with acquiring a business that was able to scale and was actually the only big player on the market.
Incredible.
Thank you. Now maybe we can speak a bit about the future of shopping. What do you think is going to be in the future in terms of online, offline? I will be very interested, or we will be very interested to hear about it.
Well, I think I have kind of radical vision of the future of shopping. I think it will go along the way the media went. So 20 years ago, you had traditional media and traditional way of consuming radio, television, movies. And then social media arrived, and it changed everything. And I think that really shopping, the retail commerce, is at the same point. That we got used that there are multiple offline stores, there are many online stores, and you go to a store and buy things. There are big marketplaces like Amazon, Allegro in Poland, Zalando. But in the end, it's really store-centric. You always go to a store. And with social media, it's all really revolving around you. So we believe that the future of shopping is personal and autonomous. Personal because it will all evolve around you. You will have your own personal store that will understand you, that will be powered with AI, that will help you make recommendations, that will help you remember things, what you need to buy. So that will, we believe, really upend the logic of the whole market and make it just easier, faster, more personalized for end consumers.
So you think that there's not going to be any more search bars in the application or on the website to look for products?
Probably they will, but they will change the logic because I think that when you look at what people buy, most of us buy similar things regularly. If you buy chocolates, you change flavors, you change brands. But if you like chocolates, you buy chocolates regularly. The same is for running shoes, trousers, actually everything. So the algorithms can very well understand what are your preferences, what are your sweet points, what are your price points, what flavors you like, what brands you like. And then they can do all the remembering. So instead of trying to remember, okay, what do I need to buy today, and search it, you will see pre-generated baskets saying, hey, today you probably need to buy these things from your grocery store, these things from your sports store, these things from your beauty store. So you will just need to decide whether you want to buy it, you want to buy something else, switch it. But I believe that the logic will really change. It will become much more about refinement of what you want to buy rather than remembering and searching for what you want.
So what will be the role of the advertisers and influencers, for example, within this ecosystem? Do you think that trust can be something that will play another role?
Well, I think you touch on a very important point, trust. Because right now with advertising, it's kind of difficult to trust. Is the celebrity who is advertising a product and which I like, is it really something I should trust? Or is the celebrity taking money for advertising a product that he or she is not really using? Everybody's asking themselves this question. And the only guarantee of trust is really if I put my money behind it. So if I buy a product, it means that I made a conscious decision that I trust the quality, that I will use it. I may not like it eventually, but putting the money behind it is really that sign of trust. So I believe that the whole model will evolve into much more social shopping. So if I know that you bought a book, and I see it, I know what you like, I know that you read the things which are interesting. For me, it's a major signal, and I will certainly look into this book and be inspired. So I think that the process of discovering products, of finding things that are interesting for me, will fundamentally evolve around people sharing products which they buy. So I know what you bought, I know what you bought, and I know what my friends bought, and that will provide me an incredible discovery space of things that may be interesting for me. And also you may see what I buy, and then it will make it easier for you to decide what you want to buy next in certain categories.
Okay, that's very interesting. But so where or like what is then for the brands and for the retailers in this kind of ecosystem where you can buy and share what you buy? What is the role?
Well, for the brands, I think it is really a revolution. Traditionally, brands are manufacturers. So traditionally, it's manufacturers that were selling their products to customers. They knew them, they understood them, they nurtured the relationship. And then with scale, obviously, the retailers came in. So nobody's buying products anymore from the brands, from manufacturers. We are buying them from professional retailers, big or small. And brands are right now cut off from the transaction. They don't know who is buying the products, and they can actually not influence the offering and the price. They must go through the retailers. And what I believe the future holds, it is that the brands will reestablish their relationship with the customers. They will know what people buy. They will be able, down to an individual customer, personalize the offering. That means the bundles, the offers, the pricing, to reflect people's loyalty. Because ultimately, we are not loyal to retailers. We may like some stores better or less, but we are loyal to brands. We like Nike shoes, we like Milka chocolate, or other brands, and it's them who should award us for our loyalty. They should be taking care of that, not the retailers really. So I believe that the future holds that brands will be back into the transaction, so they will be able to participate in the way the offers are shaped.
Okay, can you give an example for?
Oh, yeah. You drink Coke or Pepsi?
I'm a Coke guy.
I'm trying to cut out from this, but usually it would be Pepsi. Yes.
Okay, but you can imagine the same example with Pepsi. But let's say that, Lionel, you are the best Coke customer in Europe. First, Coca-Cola has no idea about this. They don't know that. But if they knew, they would probably award you some awards. They would shower you with awards because you're a living ambassador. All your friends see that you love Coke, and some of them get inspired by this. So this is what they really want. People who love their product, they consume it massively and share their joy of consuming that product. So if they knew that you are the one and they could give you, let's say, 5% discount on all their products, they would probably do that. So how will that work? So if they give you in this new system, this 5% best customer in Europe discount, wherever you go, whether you go to a small corner shop or to a grocery service like Frisco or some other, in any country in Europe, you always pay 5% less. Why? Because the automated system will real-time understand that you are you, that Coca-Cola granted you 5% discount. They will deduct it from the price. Coca-Cola will refund the retailer, so you will get cheaper Coke. You will feel rewarded and compensated. Coca-Cola will be happy because it's in their best interest to award people who love their products. And the retailers will probably sell more because happy customers buy more, and they will get the 100% of their shelf price. So it's a different logic, which is not there, but it's inevitable, and we are building the product that actually allows brands to participate in the transaction.
Witold, so you've opened the door for the discussion around dynamic pricing then. So I don't know if you're all aware, but there was recently a big scandal, which of course I'm sure there's no credible truth behind it, but it opened the whole discussion when Microsoft and Kroger in the United States teamed up for some project, and the rumor was that it was aimed at using facial recognition, computer vision, to identify shoppers and then dynamically adjust the prices. So of course there's always the risk that some people will pay more, others will pay less, and there's some sort of inequality. How do you see this whole debate?
Well, I think that dynamic pricing has two phases. One is probably unethical and probably illegal, but it's changing the prices depending on who you are. And the second part, which is perfectly legit, I believe, is really awarding good customers. So this is like a loyalty program. So if I buy a lot of products from Coke or from Pepsi, I get special benefits, lower prices, better deals. So what we believe and what we are building is really to allow brands and retailers to do real-time adjustments based on shoppers' actual history. So that requires a new payment system, of course, because the existing payment system doesn't allow for real-time price modifications. But once it is there, both the brands and the retailers will be able to personalize price depending on my past shopping behavior across all channels, because obviously you sometimes buy Coke in a bar, sometimes you buy it in a grocery service. So we may have all this information, and based on that, you may get a personalized offer. So that requires a different infrastructure for collecting data and processing the transactions to make it smooth for both the customer and the retailer.
So you say the key to all of this visibility, this black box of information, black hole of information that exists across, let's say, the omnichannel sector, is really the payment infrastructure. And
yeah, I believe that this is the holy grail, really, of e-commerce. So far, everybody thought that cards is the enabler of e-commerce. They've been an enabler, but I believe that they've reached their limit. And the reason is because they've been built like several decades ago, and the major constraint that they have is that they don't know what people are buying. And this is, I believe, impossible to change, really, with the global complexity of card infrastructure. And the new logic is that when you pay for something, you as a customer should be able to see what you've bought in your mobile app, whether it's a banking app or a wallet app or a shopping app, even if you buy it offline. So then you can buy it again in a couple of months. If you want to register a return, you can do it in your app without going to the store or writing an email. If you want to share it with your friends, why not doing it with 2 clicks? It's good for retailers, it's good for brands, it's good for our customers. But that really requires the payment system to understand what you buy. If you pay for coffee, it must understand you bought a coffee. So if it's your 10th coffee, probably it will be a free coffee. You don't need to do anything because the payment system will register all that information and act accordingly the way it is configured by the merchants and the brands.
I love the idea of going to a brick and mortar retailer store and discovering new products. It's always, from time to time, you need to do this to understand what competitive products that could be, and you try something new, but having it inside this infrastructure of yours and just next time clicking on it and ordering it online. You have complete visibility of everything that you've done, and you can just repeat these orders. And I understand that's exactly the direction that you're going. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about your latest innovation.
Yeah, well, OpenApp is the project that we are building. We've deployed it commercially already in Poland, but it is built on a very simple idea that everybody in the future will have their own personal store, that will have all the products they buy offline and online. We believe it is like, there's nothing innovative about it. We believe it is just natural. So you buy things and you see them in your app so that you can easily buy them again. If you're buying a tennis racket, then you probably need tennis balls and you may probably need some tennis gear. So it's easy for the store to automatically build these offerings around this individual purchase. It's great for the stores, great for the customers. So that is the infrastructure we are building so that everybody has their own personal store, which has autonomous shopping engine, what we call it. So once you buy things offline and online, we help you with future shopping by reminding what you need to buy next, making recommendations which are relevant to what you've bought to make your discovery and search experience easier, faster, and better. And on top of that, if we know what your friends buy, so you can see in your personal store the things which your friends bought and decided to share with you. So then you've got greater visibility, more inspirations, easier discovery. I think everybody should be happy with this kind of change.
But so how do they interact together between social, like my store versus yours? If we're friends, I see what you can buy.
Yeah.
What's good? What do I earn, or is it some benefits between us?
It's a good point. People, we believe shopping is really the second most social thing that people do. The most social thing is really talking and information content. And Facebook, Instagram, and other services have excelled at making it easy and have built experiences around it. But I believe that shopping is really social. We usually don't shop just for ourselves. We shop for our family. That's the basic social unit. Then we, perhaps not we men, but a lot of women discuss shopping among themselves. And this is natural. And there is no way really to exchange this information in an automated manner. Because I'd love to see what my friends who play tennis, what they buy. They would be happy to share that. I would probably buy more tennis stuff than I currently do. And if we add into this like trust-based compensation engine, compensation model, then it becomes magical. So if you buy something and I see that, it's good for me because I discovered that. But why why did I buy it? I buy it because you bought it first and you decided to share. So you actually acted like an influencer, like an ambassador of a brand. Zero effort ambassador, because the only thing you did was really buying the product. But then, shouldn't you be compensated for this? Because they can either reach me with expensive mass market advertising or via personalized social channels. So then in this model, each customer who is buying things and decides to share them socially with their social circle gets compensated for the things which their friends buy. Can be a very small fraction, like 0.5%, but it's really out of nothing. You spend $1,000 a month buying products, and suddenly you get $10 free just because other people got inspired and bought similar products. So I believe that this really will produce a different social shopping economy and the way of monetizing social interactions.
So we all become kind of influencers for our like between our friends and our social circle, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that when you look at the way shopping is happening right now, I think that professional retailers will have the same role as professional content producers. You've got big Hollywood studios, professional TV stations, but then a lot of content that we consume is produced by individuals, just like your podcast here. We are producing content right now, and people consume it on YouTube and they get compensated for it. So I think the same will happen with social stores. So some people can be crazy about chocolates. They understand everything about chocolate, they know all the brands. So I would love to shop from a social store that is specializing in chocolates, because the competence and the quality of content that will be there will be probably unmatched by any professional Auchan or Carrefour or Tesco, which are really mass market retailers. So that will move the burden of shopping into the social layer. Both will coexist, but I believe that the change will be really profound and we'll start shopping primarily from social stores.
And are you planning to keep this inside the social interaction inside your app, or is it also going to be able to expand onto Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, that these same individuals can promote the product that they've just purchased and get some affiliate marketing?
Well, obviously the options are unlimited.
Yes,
in a way.
And that's quite a challenge as well, because you don't want to overbloat this whole app.
So at this point, we're thinking about it in a very simple, as a very simple experience. So it should be vertically integrated to make it just like the iPhone experience, a little bit closed, but really super easy to navigate. So we believe that the key experience should be that whatever I buy ends up my personal store, and it gets shared if I decide to share that, and I get compensated if it happens. And there is one aspect of this which I believe has enormous consequences for the professional retail commerce. Right now, when you buy, let's say we decided to buy your beautiful mug in a store. So I pay $10 for it, and for a store, it's the end of the story. You've bought it, it's deal done. We don't even know who you are.
Single sale.
Single sale. But what if this single sale actually originated a new sales cycle? Because you automatically share that information that you bought this mug, and some of your friends say, well, first I want to support your podcast, so I want to have the same mug on my breakfast table, so I will buy it. So that information is dispersed in your social circle. They can see it in their personal store, they can see it on their feed, and suddenly one or two people may buy it, just because you bought it originally. So it's a completely new concept of actually advertising or sharing information, which is built on trust. Because I know you, I like you, I see the product, I know you bought it. So that this is really all what is important for me to believe that this is something I may want.
Very interesting. And so OpenApp. So tell us, where do you stand now? Is it live? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
We started with the foundation. It's good to start when you're building a house, to start with a foundation. So the foundation really is the payment system. So we've built a vertically integrated payment system that is capable of understanding what you buy. So if you buy something online, you see in your app exactly the product which you bought. But that's kind of easy because it's online. But also if you buy offline, you can also see the products just like you bought them online. So we've got the rails, we've got the infrastructure in place. It is commercially live in Poland with several retailers. And right now we're adding the personal stores and social layer to make the full shopping experience possible and the sharing, which is obviously critical and most important in the way people, I believe, will operate with their shopping.
So you're contacting retailers, brands, or like,
yeah,
what is the next 6 months or a year?
So right now we start discussions with more retailers and brands because for brands, so far brands have never been part of the transaction, retail transaction. So this is something new for them. So we are explaining them what are the possibilities of a new system, and this is the holy grail which they all wanted because it's granular information without privacy trade-offs because they don't know our personal data, but they are capable of shaping their offerings down to individual shopping behavior. And the second part are the merchants, and we are approaching the merchants with a very simple message. So if you want to give your original sale a second life, or actually multiple second lives. So you just need to plug in our solution into your as an additional payment option, and the rest happens automatically. So this is where we see ourselves over the next 6 to 12 months, getting more brands and merchants on board.
Mm-hmm. Expanding in the EU as well, or like internationally?
Yeah, absolutely. We are a payment institution here in Poland, and we and all the other fintech companies are lucky to be part of the EU framework. So it's very easy to get the license passporting across the EU. So we are planning to be present in at least 3 or 4 geographies in Europe, probably France, Germany, and the Benelux countries, because these are obviously the large ones and very modern in terms of adoption of digital technologies. So we believe that beginning of next year we'll be present in most of these 5 countries.
Wow. So just another interesting, 2 use cases that we discussed previous time that we met. I would love for you to just share with the audience as well. 1, sharing baskets, for example, for gifts, and 2, ordering food in a restaurant, how this works.
Okay. What we focused so far is really the primary use cases.
Yeah.
So you buy things, you've got your personal store, and then you can share it. That's simple. But a new payment system that understands what you buy opens infinite possibilities of making life easier in so many other areas. So gifts is really a great example. So there are actually two cases with gifts. One is we want to buy a bigger gift. Several people want to buy a gift to Lionel for his birthday. So right now we have to communicate over WhatsApp or through some other channel, make a decision, send money with one of the wallets probably, and then somebody is making the purchase, collecting it, and that's how the process looks. It's not very easy. It's not very very seamless. What you can do when you have this infrastructure in place, you just set up a basket, share it with your several friends. Everybody contributes part of the payment, or it gets split automatically, and that's how it's done. Everybody can see the gift. It's split equally, or however you decide, and it just happens. It's just 3 clicks, and people can buy socially, can share baskets. And imagine a family. If you are buying groceries, you've got a wife, you've got 2 kids. Everybody can see your basket and can add without calling and asking who wants what. It's just so easy and natural. And the second use case is, let's say you have birthday, and we've met a couple of times, but I don't know you too well. But you've invited me to your birthday party, and I want to bring you some gift that you will like, but I don't know many of your friends. So there is really no way for me to make a good guess what might be interesting for you. So I just go to your profile and click a button, propose a gift. And based on your shopping behavior, it proposes a gift that may likely suit you, that will probably be something that you will be interested in. And I just pick one of the options. I can buy something more expensive, less expensive, from different categories. So the likelihood of me missing your taste and preferences is lower. So it's making you happier, me happier, and it's making the process of finding a gift so much easier. And why is it possible?
Faster, yeah.
Because I understand, the system understands what you like. No privacy trade-offs. You can see it. I cannot see what you buy. I just get good recommendations. So it's kind of magical, really. Okay, and the restaurants.
Restaurant, yes.
So let's say we're in a restaurant right now. So a waiter comes in and he wants to take the order. So we ordered a glass of water, but we couldn't decide on anything else. But we just didn't want to wait because the restaurant is busy. So he allows us to scan the QR code on his tablet, which allows us to add products to the order. So we decide to get a pizza. So we just go into the app and add the pizza because we see the menu in the app, which is commonplace right now. So we get the pizza and we decide to pay the bill and decide to split the bill. So each of us goes to the app. We select what we bought, click pay, and it's paid, and we leave. So he doesn't have to really to come with the bill. We don't have to input anything because if we know what we ordered, everybody knows what one wants to pay for. It becomes super easy, seamless, frictionless, and just magical.
So one app to do all of your commerce. Of course, limited to the stores that are onboarded. But this is the one space that you can order from Auchan, from Frisco, wherever you want. If you want to buy your sneakers from a sports shop, all of this is in this one space, and you don't even need to go outside.
I believe that really, when you look about the structure of shopping, some things you buy offline, online, you go to a restaurant, you buy a ticket to a theater. It's actually, there is always the payment, which is part of this. So if you integrate smart payments with different interfaces, because the restaurant requires a slightly different interface, booking, buying a ticket to a cinema requires a different interface, giving a tip to a waiter requires a different interface, so you can make it really beautifully integrated and seamless. So the magic comes from vertical integration, just like with Tesla, with Apple. So it's not something which is unheard of, but we believe that shopping and payments must get integrated vertically to make life easier for everyone.
So can you just explain quickly just the technical process that me as a user, as a customer, go through to buy a product on SMIC, online versus offline? What does it look like?
Well, if you go online, you just go to the checkout and there is a QR code. So you don't need to fill in all your contact information and delivery information, because if you are using your personal store app, OpenApp, it's already there because you usually order to the same delivery address and your email and phone number.
But you can change this, of course.
You can change it, but it's usually the same. So you scan the QR code, the basket automatically gets transferred to your mobile app. You just look at the app, you see if everything is in order, you pay, and the order gets authenticated and transferred for fulfillment.
Just for the sake of clarity, this is now the computer screen. You've made the order or created your basket on your laptop, and you take your phone out, you just scan the QR code, it shows in your phone, these are the products that are in your basket, and you just click pay.
If you do the same on your mobile phone, there is a widget, there is a button, which does exactly the same, but is using the deep link data transfer. So it opens up the app in the same device, and the process is otherwise the same.
So you, in any case, in the app have full content of all the available products of SMIC, and you can just choose buy, and it's the same execution.
Exactly.
Just without the QR code.
And if you go to an offline store, right now, if you pay with GPay or Apple Pay, you tap the phone against the device with an antenna. So what you would do with OpenApp, you would do the same, but you would just scan a QR code, which would be displayed next to the cashier, and you would authenticate the payment, and it would the experience would be the same as with traditional payment. The difference would be that you would get all the products in your app.
And this is what's happening exactly right now in SMIC.
Exactly.
You can go to any SMIC with the app and buy your products.
Yeah, with the offline, not yet, but we're working on this, so that should be live in a couple of months.
So maybe just as well, because you're speaking about SMIC and some retailers. So I guess the big challenge for you is distribution, right? So maybe can you speak about it? What's the challenges, and what is your strategy about it?
Obviously, this is a system that requires scale. if you want to have a system that is based on social sharing, you must have a lot of people in, because if you're alone in a system, well, that may not be that super exciting. But the good thing is that I believe we arrived at the solution that is providing a lot of incentive for merchants to plug in, because we are taking care of the process which has been orphaned in a way. So what happens after the transactions, after they sell the product? We are saying we'll take care and make sure that more people will learn about the purchase, so that will bring additional sales. So technically what we are doing, we are plugging in, of course, the big shopping platforms, Shopify, Polish Idosell, Baselinker, and all the others. So small stores can actually plug in within minutes just by activating the account and start selling through us. And for the big ones, we're approaching them because they have exactly the same problem, and all they need to do is just integrate their payment system. So it's just a one-off integration. So that's fairly simple, and the rest happens automatically. Because the beauty of this kind of the solution is that the distribution of information among friends and all the profiling is done outside of the retailers. And all the retailers are stressed with limited resources, not enough time, too many priorities. So what we are saying them, the black box will do it for you. Just like the Google AdWords black box is doing the magic of finding the right, matching the keywords with the right links. The same what Facebook is doing with the ads. We will do the same with products and people who want to buy things.
And what's the strategy in terms of to achieve that target? Are you going to look for money? Are you going to look for partners?
Well, we believe that obviously we'll be partnering with a lot of companies, but we believe that my experience from Frisco was not for nothing. So if you go alone, actually you can build a better product. It can be a little bit harder, but then what really wins at the end of the day is a great product quality. So this is our holy grail. We don't want to compromise in any way on the user experience and the experience for the merchants. And our prediction is that within 5 years' time, there will be at least one or two big technology shopping platforms which provide personalization, high-end personalization for offline and online shopping in the Western world. So we believe that this is the next platform company that will be there, either us or somebody else, but it's inevitable because retail commerce must change. It must adopt AI and personalization at really great scale. And that will happen with a major rewrite of the rules. And usually such shifts produce big companies, big platform companies. So we are super excited about the future and we want to be part of it. We want to shape it.
Great.
Wow.
Maybe just a last thing, maybe let's speak about your competition. Do you have any? What's in this field?
I would refer to my Frisco days. Who was our competition in the early days? We said all the big names that you were aware of, Tesco, Auchan, Carrefour, and many others. In the end, it turned out that there were there were less competition than we thought, because the legacy players, they have the money, they have the resources, they have the distribution, but they don't have the mindset. And it is the mindset and your dedication and perseverance that is actually winning the market, that is winning the customers. So obviously we are looking at all the big players like Amazon, all the big tech companies. They have everything to be such a player. But do they have the mindset? Do they have the motivation to make it happen? So we believe, although we are a startup right now, that with the experience that we accumulated, with the product roadmap that we have, that we are really at the forefront of the shopping change that is happening. So we are looking around. We want to know what's happening, but we're focusing really on what we want to achieve, and we want to run as fast as possible.
Witold, thank you.
Thank you very much, Witold.
Thank you very much.
It was really a pleasure having you here.
Well, I hope to see you among our customers soon.
Well, I'm registered. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing more stores, and I assume this is going to be the determining factor. The more brands, the more stores you have, the more customers you have. Already have many thousands of customers, which is surprising, considering the fact that you haven't really been doing any marketing yet. So I'm really excited to see the future here. Congratulations so far. So that's all from us for today. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and follow us for more insightful episodes to come.